Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Like you've never heard it before. This story isn't told by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters. From the good and the bad and those in between. From soldiers on both sides of the Civil War. From warriors seeking honor. To mages seeking great power. To thieves seeking to get wealthy. To assassins seeking fear. And those who are cursed children of the night seeking justice. And those who were simply in the wrong place at the right time. Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, told to you by all of us that take part in it. We hope you enjoy. If you like these stories, chuck us a subscribe and your credit card number.
Oh, come on now, that's not in the script. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one.
Chapter 29, The Bard. After I left Morthal, I wanted to go to Solitude and apply to the Bards College. When I was young, I used to play the flute with my sister. She loved the lute. I didn't play much after her death, but whenever I do play, it feels as if she is playing right beside me. I miss her terribly. I miss them all. What I would do just to spend 5 minutes with them again. One day I'll meet them in Sovngarde again, and I hope I have some stories to tell them before it's my time. I felt strange again crossing the bridge, like when I was in the inn in Morthal. Why am I getting these feelings? It was that person in the shadows, but that wasn't Cecilia. Somehow it feels like I know her and trust her, but I feel like I really shouldn't. She seems sneaky. Why in the Nine Divines do I keep getting these weird feelings? Where I feel like I know a person better than myself that I've never met. I don't know. It's getting late and I could just be tired. I better book a room, get some food and some rest. I can visit Solitude tomorrow. Then I'll apply to the Bards College. From there I'll improve my skills, and then go to Cryodiil during the winter. Visit the homeland of my parents. Earn gold traveling the towns and cities of Cryodiil. Visit the great chapel of Bruma, where my mother served as a priestess of Talos, and where her and father got married. Then travel to Kvatch, where my father grew up. But I feel there's so much to do here in Skyrim first. Before any of that, I'll need to rest, for there is much to do. But when I slept, I had a weird dream. It wasn't like a normal dream, but like it was real, like I was there. I saw a statue of a winged woman, and a wall, calling out to me, singing out for me to find it. What in oblivion was that? It didn't feel right. That felt really strange. The morning was already here. I better get to Solitude before anything weird like that happens again. I can remember that dream. Normally I forget all of my dreams, but that winged statue is burned into my brain. Maybe I won't feel so strange with some fresh air in my lungs on the roads to Solitude. Father told me Solitude reminded him of home, that it was like a city in Cryodiil. It had high walls and this sort of high and mighty feeling the cities of the Empire had. He said the place was beautiful, that it felt different from all of the other cities in Skyrim. Solitude was the only place that felt like a piece of Cryodiil to him. He told me he missed home, but he left to save my mother, because the Thalmor were after Talos worshippers. There it was, Solitude. The place looked so big. It was an amazing sight. I heard this was where the war started, where Ulfric killed the High King. I thought Morthal was big. This place looks massive, and I'm not even in the city yet. The plan is to book a room for the day, then apply to the Bards College. I'm really here because when I use the flute, it reminds me of my little sister. It reminds me of home before it all went bad. When I play the flute, it's like I can see Lysra playing the lute beside me and I can hear her singing. Then I can see Mother and Father cheering us on. I can improve my skills and even learn to use the lute. Then I can travel around Skyrim earning gold being a bard. And when winter comes, I can go south into Cryodiil and travel my parents' homeland, taking a piece of home with me. What in Talos was she? You could see most of her back end. A woman should not show that much of herself out in public. It's unladylike. For a city so big, it was rather quiet. The name of this city is fitting. I'll book a room and unpack. Then I'll go check out the Bards College.
Good day, friend. Keeping well?
His eyes. They didn't look right. They looked kind of like a full moon. The closer I got to the college, the louder the music got. But the streets were very quiet. For a place so large, I would have expected this place to be very busy. I was here. The college looked so big. Who needed buildings this tall? Where were all the bards? I expected more out here playing music and singing. This place really is solitude. I feel kind of lonely here.
It is my personal mission to ensure that the Bards College preserves the great deeds of the past in both poetry and song. Always a pleasure to meet a prospective bard. You should be aware that many apply, but we accept very few people. When possible, we ask applicants to perform tasks the college needs completed. In this case, I do have a task befitting an aspiring bard. Elisif has forbidden the burning of King Olaf, a festival put on by the Bards College. We need to change her mind. To convince her, I want to read King Olaf's verse, a part of the Poetic Edda, the living history of Skyrim. Unfortunately, the verse was lost long ago. Yes, according to Giraud, our history's keeper, the portion of the Edda dealing with King Olaf might still exist in Dead Man's Respite. I need you to retrieve the poem.
So to join the College of Bards, they want me to adventure into an old tomb to find an ancient songbook. Sounds like my sort of thing. Should be fun. On the way out, a woman called out to me, telling me to wait. She said she wanted to help. I wouldn't refuse company on such a journey. She looked like she could handle herself, and she too had those yellow eyes. She told me her brother was here and he would help too. That man in the streets must have been her brother with the strange eyes. They too were bards. Not bards for the sake of selling music, but going on adventure and playing music and creating new stories. They looked like they had traveled the roads quite well. And traveling such ancient tombs with people at my back wouldn't be a bad thing. Father told me that the dead protect these tombs, and those that die in them are cursed to join them. I'm kind of glad they sent me on a quest to join the Bards College. At my current level of the flute, I might make their ears bleed. This way I can see more of Skyrim and have a chance of joining the college to improve with the flute. I was scared they'd ask me to perform. And well, I can honestly say I believe the Solitude Guard would have kicked me out of the city. We were here, at Dead Men's Respite. It was only south of Solitude, pretty much on the border of Hjalmarch and Hoffingar. Headmaster Viarmo sent me here to find King Olaf's verse, some ancient verse lost for thousands of years. We better set up camp before the sun sets. Then we'll go in, find this verse, and have camp waiting for us if it's dark when we get out. As soon as we got in, we found a ghost playing the flute. Of all things to see ghosts doing, it makes sense we're after an old bard verse in here. He pointed to a claw on the table, one gilded with rubies. As soon as I lifted the claw off the table, it released a pressure plate and the gate unlocked, and its undead guardians awoke from their graves. It was good I had these siblings with me. Can't imagine how many poor souls have lifted the claw off the table from the dead to place it right back on the table waiting for the next poor soul. This ghost was leading us. Maybe this was the bard. I bet he's leading us right to Olaf's verse and through the undead.
It's thousands of years old. Who knows what we might find?
Ah, I hate spiders. They were all through the marsh. And when Father took me out to clear the marshes out, these ugly little bastards were everywhere. I was lost in there. There was no way through. My companion said these tombs have many hidden valleys. They told me to look around for a lever or pull chain. That would show us the hidden path. But it was so dark in there. It said that the undead keep the tombs lit. I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense why they would light the tombs. But even with the light there was, it was darkness in here.
Keep your eyes and ears open. things considered.
The place was rigged with traps. These places were cursed. If the undead didn't kill you, the tomb itself would. But these places are for the dead, not for the living. And if you're here to disturb the dead, you might end up joining them. Sure, the undead are here to guard the resting place of the ancients. But anything dead should stay dead. Magic used to keep the dead alive is corruption, and is an abomination against all that is natural in this world. Like vampires. Those disgusting creatures destroy lives because of their hunger for blood. Any and all bloodsuckers should be put to the flames. If I was told the Emperor was a vampire, I'd join the Stormcloaks in a heartbeat. Same if Ulfric was one. Every last one of those parasites must be eradicated. We were close, I could feel it. But I went ahead of my team and got trapped. I had to fight off the undead on my own. Nothing I couldn't handle. Used to fight skin bags in the marsh all the time with Father. Though these ones had weapons and magic. We found the ghost, and his body with what looked like the ancient verse I was sent here to find. Much of it had faded with age. I'm surprised there's anything to read, seeing how this book has been here for thousands of years. Better get this back to the college.
This is a little creepy.
When we were leaving, the ghost unlocked a magical sealed door. It looked like it wanted us to follow. We didn't need to stay anymore. But the ghost helped us find this verse, so the least we could do is help it. The door looked like a puzzle, and its keyhole looked like the claws on the ruby claw I picked up. That must be the key for this door. Under the claw was the symbols I had to align on the door. Then I guess I put the key in and the door unlocks? It worked. Great. Does this door lead to treasure? Why would you leave a key lying around to be stolen by a grave robber? This didn't look like treasure. This looked like something was about to go down. Something we aren't going to like. I heard singing, like something was calling out to me. The others couldn't hear it. They said these old tombs make funny noises all the time.
Be careful, friend. This place doesn't seem too forgiving.
The bard called out to Olaf, and the door slammed shut behind us. Was King Olaf buried here? Then the undead started rising. We had to fight our way out of here. I started hearing the chanting again, but louder, further into the tomb.
My vengeance is at hand.
More undead started to rise. These ones hit me with strange magic that came from their mouths when they screamed. The chanting and music got so loud, I just started walking towards it like I had no control over my body. All my focus was towards the glowing wall, like the one in my dream. Then my focus returned when my soul left my body, when Olaf tore the door off his tomb. It called to me. The glowing writing called to me, and I followed. The others couldn't see or hear what I was. They thought I took a nasty blow to the head from a draugr, but I wasn't seeing things, I swear. The writing on the wall called to me. It read, "Wold." I have no idea how I know what that means, but I just do. They looked at me with confusion and concern. They didn't know if I was injured or just not right in the head. How come they couldn't hear or see what I did? Am I going insane? These feelings and dreams, and now this. What in Talos was happening to me? We sat there by the fire, keeping warm, telling stories to each other, when the siblings seemed alerted. They were sniffing the air like dogs. Moments later, we were ambushed by vampires. Those filthy, blood-sucking bastards won't see another moonlight. Out of nowhere, Ronica turned into a werewolf. She slashed and clawed her way through the vampires like they were butter. Her brother told me to calm down, that she wouldn't attack me, that they'll explain by the fire. They told me they were pureborns, that their father had survived a werewolf attack and was cursed to become one, that their mother found him naked and covered in blood in her field, and down the line fell in love. They had no idea that their children would also be werewolves. But they said they aren't cursed. They can turn whenever they want and have full control. They said that's why their eyes are yellow, because they are pureborn werewolves. I wouldn't hate them for what they are. They were born that way. Plus, they are quite handy for killing vampires. And they did help me with this quest. Without them, I would have died for sure. I'd keep their secret, and we'd make haste for Solitude to deliver this verse. We both had something different about us. They were werewolves, and I was going insane. Hopefully sometime at the college we'll settle whatever is going on with me. They say music is the cure to all ill wills.
I have to admit, I didn't think it would actually be there. Now, let's take a look at this. Oh no, this won't do at all. The copy is incomplete. It's aged to the point that parts are unreadable, and the parts that are readable, well, Bardic verse has come a long way since ancient times. It means I can't read it to the court. Without the verse, I won't be able to convince Elisif of the importance of the burning of King Olaf festival. If she isn't convinced of the festival's importance, then she won't reverse her decision to stop the effigy burning. It means that the burning of King Olaf, which the Bards College has held for time immemorial, won't be happening. Make it up? That doesn't seem appropriate. I suppose I could copy his style based on what you brought me, but I have no idea what happened in between these verses. O Olaf, our subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numenex, a con for the ages. King Olaf was Olaf One-Eye? He famously captured the dragon Numenex and took him to Dragon's Reach. What do we say really happened? Olaf did become king, and Numenex escaped later. It's entirely possible. And I'm sure the court will like that. I'm writing it in. Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But Solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Strange. According to history, Solitude attacked Winterhold, but this seemed to be saying Olaf reacted. What do we say happened? Oh, that sounds good. I'm not sure the court will believe that Olaf had wizard powers, but we shall see. It has a few final lines, but that's all we needed to add. I need to head to court immediately and present this. You should come.
The wolf siblings said they were off to travel the roads once more. I wished them farewell and thanked them for their company. I promised to keep their secret. They smiled and said what a friend's for. I have a feeling I'll see them again one day.
I do hope the court likes the verse. I think we've done an excellent job of recreating it. I think my voice is ready. I hope we've done this well.
Ah, Viarmo. I assume you are here to petition for the reinstatement of the burning of King Olaf Festival.
I am, Jarl. I wish to present King Olaf's verse from the Poetic Edda, recovered this very day from the Bard's tomb.
You mentioned something that would convince us the festival should take place, but I didn't expect King Olaf's lost verse. Please proceed.
O Olaf, our subjugator, the one-eyed betrayer, death-dealing demon and dragon-killing king, your legend is lies, lurid, and false. Your cunning capture of Numenex, a con for the ages. No shouting match between dragon and man, no fire or fury did this battle entail. Olaf struck a deal to make himself king. Numenex let go, though none tell that tale. Olaf grabbed power by promise and threat. From Falkreath to Winterhold, they fell to their knees. But Solitude stood strong, Skyrim's truest protectors. Olaf's vengeance was instant, inspired, and wicked. Because Solitude would not soon bend knee, Olaf would hurt them while his status accrued. He sacked Winterhold, his only true ally, and used magic bold to blame Solitude. So ends the story of Olaf the liar, a thief, and a scoundrel. We of Solitude commit to the fire. In Solitude, bards train for their service. They also gather each year and burn a king who deserves it.
You have proven your point, Viarmo. The festival is truly a celebration of solitude and a condemnation of false kings.
I thank you, and the college thanks you, Jarl.
Furthermore, I believe that such a fine poem deserves some payment of patronage. The college will be moderately rewarded.
Oh, thank you yet again. I will make sure our applicant, who was instrumental in recovering the poem, will be well rewarded. Unbelievable! You have done us a great service here. I can't begin to thank you enough.
Steward, I will need the following reagents for my studies. Please.
These things must be done properly. You will be inducted as part of the festival itself. I need you to go speak to Yorn. He was preparing the effigy of King Olaf. Tell him to finish the preparations. The festival is back on!
My experiments are all I asked for in return.
The festival was back on. It was time to burn King Olaf. Tonight would be a celebration of a return to tradition and for my joining of the Bards College. It seems the quietness of Solitude had vanished. For tonight it felt alive. I had another one of those strange feelings, like a protector was near, like a guardian.
I want for free, come back for more! Get your meat pies!
Keep an eye out for trouble. It's only a matter of time.
Welcome, people of Solitude! We of the Bards College are pleased to be here to celebrate the burning of King Olaf. The festival would not have been possible without the dedication and hard work
It was
of
him.
our latest
He was the one I
applicant.
could feel. I felt safe around him. I felt like he'd be there whenever I
With the
needed
lighting
him.
of the effigy,
Like he would die for me. Why am I feeling these feelings? I don't even know this man.
she becomes a full-fledged member of the Bards College. Please welcome our newest bard. Yes, congratulations. You are now a full-fledged member of the Bards College. Due to your adventurous nature, several of the college professors have some things they wish you to do. What's more, Elisif has declared the burning of King Olaf should become a weekly event. And finally, there's the matter of the patronage that Elisif wanted me to give you.
Or by the college.
I am now a member of the Bards College. On the way back, I saw that man drinking and listening to music. I had to talk to him, find out why I have feelings like these. But maybe it would be less weird if I get some drinks. I don't want to just ask him really weird questions.
Just one bottle
I'll
per
look
customer.
weirder than I
Except
feel.
for the woman who saved the festival. Here's a couple of bottles for you.
I approached the man with an offer for a drink, and he accepted. I kind of blurted out that I had these weird feelings about him. Look, I don't have great people skills, okay? I grew up on a farm mostly with just my father. I really don't know how to talk to people like this. But I really wanted to find out why I feel this way about certain people. He admitted that he had a strange feeling just before he saw me. He said it felt like darkness was surrounding him like a fog. And when he saw me, it vanished. That has to be the most romantic, weird thing I've ever heard. We talked for what felt like a lifetime before it started raining and everybody was leaving. He offered me to come back to his house. It was right beside the college, and I accepted. I really didn't want this conversation to stop. We sat and drank wine. He told me his name was Senturos. He said he was born to a prostitute and his mother died when he was little, right after the birth of his sister, that he never saw again. That he then grew up in the Legion and was sent to Skyrim when he was of age to fight. After some time of telling each other stories of our lives, we had a little too much wine and we kissed. It just happened. Both of us had way too much wine, and I guess we got a little personal. It was my first time. It hurt at first, but by the end of the night it was quite pleasurable. I woke late to find Senturos gone. I felt like a witch had cursed me. I needed to clean myself up and get back to the college, to my own bed. I asked the servant of the house where Senturos was, but all she told me, he woke early and went back to his command. I felt like crap. I needed to sleep more, but in my own bed. I looked how Solitude feels, and the music. The drums were hurting my head. Gods, I hope they aren't going to be practicing loud instruments.
Making eyes at me.
You should tell him to mind his own business.
Aya, you're so mean. I don't think he means anything by it.
Have it your way, then.
Gods, I just want to curl up and die. I'm never drinking that much wine ever again. When I slept, the dreams returned, but one's far greater. One's of doom.
Welcome back to the outro. So I don't want to go into game and talk about it because I just rattle on about things. I want to talk about this sort of thing because at the moment it's kind of a boring questline. You know, her role is to go to the College of Bards College in Solitude and learn some bard skills, like how to use the lute, how to use the flute, and she has dreams of traveling around. But certain things are happening, like these dreams. I don't know where I got this from, but it sounded like a good idea to kind of warm her up to the idea. Of becoming the Dragonborn. She has no idea what these dreams are. No idea how they work or what the hell's going on, but they're happening, and she'll get quite a few more of them. Now, the Bards College in Skyrim is one of the shittest. I'd say that with pure and absolute, fact that it's just a shit-house questline. Makes no fucking sense. You join the Bards College and you become an adventurer. You don't learn any sort of musical instrument, nothing. So for that mod, I got, Skyrim's Got Talent. I didn't actually use any of the flute stuff here, but I will later on when she's learning, when she's actually in the college. But it's one of the worst quest lines ever. But I decided probably perfect for an adventuring quest for the Dragonborn because of her sentimental value to her sister when she used to play the flute or the lute. I don't remember. I think she was the lute and the sister was the flute. I don't fucking remember which one's which. And it reminds her, we all do things in our lives. We've all lost people that we love and care about, and would give like a 2 or 25 year. Oh no, I don't know that one. I'd give like a solid 5 years of my life to spend 5 minutes with them. And, for her, this is the best way she remembers her sister. She can just blow on the flute and remember the little sister play beside her that was on the lute. And remember her father and mother cheering. Because from, the previous chapter that she was, her previous chapter, her parents were killed, her mother and her sister were killed by vampires. And she lost her family pretty much. It was just her and her dad. Yeah, this questline, I do not like it. I've probably only ever done it 3 times in the going on 13 years I've played this game. I'll say 12. 12 seems more fitting since it hasn't been that long. And, man, it's such a stupid and useless quest. Who knows, Jay Sparrow might actually come through and make it useful, you actually have to do, instruments, because he's already got a mod called Skyrim's Got Talent, and why not make that his requirement for the Bards College, where, I'm just going to spraddle with mod ideas now, this is probably something you might do in the future, but, it set me on a quest, and the cool little thing about this quest line is that you pretty much fight Olaf One-Eye, and, well, you get to meet him in Sovngarde later on, and he'll comment on your quest of this to free the bard, and he goes, "You fool! You freed this." There's added dialogue with the Sovngarde quest line. If I meet him, since the Dragonborn did this quest, and the Dragonborn meets him in Sovngarde, it fits. Now with those dudes, I'll get a lot more into that. They're my take on a pure-born werewolf, kind of what you'd expect from. Just, I guess, expanded stuff that I've made, because it seems cool, because, the vampires got the cool eyes, and I want the werewolves to have the cool eyes, but I didn't want to completely revamp every werewolf, because they haven't got a physical look. Apparently they smell like wet dog, but you can't physically tell a werewolf. So I decided maybe, people are born with the gifts of the moon, as in they're born like a child of her scene, and so instead of being a cursed werewolf, these guys are gifted to it. They can turn whenever they want, they can control it. It's sort of a blessing of strength to them, but of course, they still got the weaknesses and they can never be cured. And again, if there's a hunter about, they know what they look like, and that hunter really hates werewolves. They'll do anything they can to wipe out werewolves, to make sure they don't breed again, to make sure they never turn, so they'll kill them, because they'll spot them. So yeah, alright, let's get to some bit more finer points. Now, I haven't studied the lore of King Olaf, but why is he buried pretty much south of Solitude? Wasn't he Solitude's enemy back in his time, before Skyrim was united? Did he die in Solitude and was buried here? I don't know. Well, it's not really in Solitude, it's more south in Helgen Marsh, where the hell it's called. But this sort of thing right here, she's looking around, she's hearing the word war, and I've always imagined that she's around people, and she's she doesn't know she's Dragonborn, no one knows she's Dragonborn, and she's like, what the hell is that chanting? And they're like, what chanting? It's 2. You might hear weird noises all the time, the undead or just the weirdness of the place. It's old spooky tombs. And so she kind of yeah, right, yeah, easy enough. And right here, I wanted to get 2 shots of her perspective walking towards the wall, and then there's her perspective. And they're like, what the shit? Why is this chick walking up to a wall? She's hearing noises, she's hearing chanting, and she's seeing a glowing word wall? What the hell? And they're a bit confused. They think she's nutters. They think she's been hit in the head by, a Draga. And, they're a bit confused why she's staring at a dark wall. And she can hear things. And they're a bit concerned about her. Now, the next bit here, they're kind of watching over her. And I decided to get attacked by vampires. Because I really want to build the emphasis on the vampires are starting to return. And they're starting to return in larger numbers. There's been reports of, and I did this with Cecilia, of her, background character, Zavita, that vampires are attacking people on the roads a lot more frequently, and they're actually stealing people. And it in the background looks like ordinary vampire stuff, but it's increased. But I'll pause it already for a second because I want to take. I'll get back to that. Now, pureborn werewolves, I give them those yellow eyes. I use the Witcher 3 eyes. And pretty much going to make the werewolf, I give it the... I try to like imagine werewolves to sort of mirror their humanoid form. So their eyes, like, so I say it's a turned werewolf, a cursed one, and they were a dark elf with black hair and red eyes. I'd give them glowing red eyes and I'd give them black fur. If it's an old person, I'd give them a grey fur and whatever colour eye they had, but glowing. But the werewolves, which is pretty cool because the Witcher 3 eyes is actually made for both beast and human races. I use the Khajiit eyes for the werewolf because they share the same texture pattern. So werewolf eyes, Khajiit, and I'm pretty sure Argonian eyes share the same sort of texture that you can actually fit them together. And yeah, this is my idea of, I tried it with him, but I forgot to actually put the skin on him, so I left him as a normal dude during the scene. And yeah, so I'm trying to build like the vampires are attacking people a lot more frequently, and like they're wearing bandit gear. Like they're going into bandit camps and killing a few bandits for food, but they're taking most of them as to turn them for the future of, you know, the Dawnguard questline, because I kind of want that, the closer it gets to winter, the more the sun's kind of hidden away by the thick, you know, snow, and the more colder it gets, the more comfortable vampires feel coming out, and this is kind of when they'll make their move. And as we know, with Ragni, she hates vampires, because again, they killed her little sister, and they killed her mother, and they made her life quite insufferable after that, you know, living with her father, growing up day by day, training, and you know, the loving man she once knew as her dad is now, you know, a harsh sort of warden in her life, but she hates vampires with an absolute passion. And she references that if, you know, Ulfric or Tullius or the Emperor was a vampire, she'd instantly join the enemy side on the spot. I honestly think Bethesda did a really shit job this questline, because instead of using any sort of model, they just used a dummy and the end of a bucket as the crown. But this is another one of those things where Ragni starts sensing people. I didn't forget to mention that with Topher. We walked past her in her chapter and also Ragni's chapter. But she senses another presence. And the whole thing of this is the doom-driven sort of idea. That not just her, it's not just Ragni that's a part of Elder Scroll, even though she's a Dragonborn. You've got to remember, Oblivion, you played a nobody. That was the main character of the Elder Scrolls. Like, you know, you weren't Dragonborn, you weren't an avatar of any sort of ancient time of general. You were just an ordinary person that was fitted to be the Elder Scroll, to be the hero, to be pretty much the main person for the Dragonborn. Like in this game, you played the Dragonborn, but in Oblivion, you played pretty much the dude that did all the work for the Dragonborn. Somewhat you were an avatar in that game, but it wasn't the sort of way it naturally is. You weren't anybody special until the DLC came along, and then you became an avatar of Shiragurath. But before that, in the main quest, you've got no help whatsoever. You're just an ordinary dude. And again, Senturos, which we're about to see, he's also doom-driven. Doom-driven are pretty much those written in the Elder Scrolls that have a lot more freedom. You know, their page isn't written until it's written. Well, everyone around me, their page is already written, how they'll live, how they'll die in the Elder Scrolls. But doom-driven, they have room to wiggle. And Senturos is also one of them, and these guys can sense each other. You know, Senturos can sense others that will be part of his future, and Ragni especially is sensing a lot of them. She's sensing a protector, sort of, and she's kind of messing those feelings up with something romantic. But, you know, later on it's going to be a little bit different, because when they meet again, I dare say it's going to be 5 or 4 months away, she'll look different. And he might not even recognize her, but she will recognize him and be like, a piece of shit. For reasons, you know, you've seen in the chapter. But she will have quite a physical change. She'll put some more muscle on, her hairstyle will be different, and her eye colour will be they'll be different. But she's sensing these people. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like a sixth sense kind of thing. Like, you know, Topher, she walks past Topher. Topher's a thief. You know, you don't trust a thief, but somehow she trusts her. And she knows she shouldn't. There's something telling her she's a sneaky bitch. I shouldn't trust her, but somehow I feel like she's got my back. And then Senturos, she's like, I feel like he's a guardian and he'd die for me. And eventually, down the line, he will become that. They're sensing what they are. And he references himself in this part of the chapter that I thought it was really cool, because it kind of reminds me of Sovngarde at the very end. He goes, I was surrounded in a fog, but when I saw you, it vanished. kind of like the fog of Sovngarde. You know, he felt darkness surrounding him, like he felt cold sitting there at Solitude, like he was being surrounded by a fog. And then as soon as he had that feeling, as soon as he saw the Ragni, it faded away, kind of referencing a future. So they've got these weird feelings of a Doom-driven. They're going to be part of the, you know, of the story in the future. They can kind of sickly sense each other, very much like Senturos sensed Sigund back way in the Dragon chapter, because, you know, they've got this, and that's a little bit different for them. It'll be a little bit more stronger because their future is a little bit more intense. You know, they're sensing their futures. They're sensing kind of how they'll be in the future with each other without even knowing what the future is and having no idea what the hell it's about. And that's why kind of her emotions are strong here. Ragni's emotions are strong because she's sensing a protector who will one day be her protector. As in, way back in the Dragon chapter, Dragon and the Bear, they were sensing each other from across, like, the map. Like, one was on top of a tower and the other one was in a fort down on the beach or on the coast. And there's a reason for that, because they will go through hell and back with each other. And I'm kind of spoiling the story here, but I'm trying to build everything up like, you know, like you would in a story. You got to step by step, character by character, and you got to build a lot of character. Sometimes you got to do this. You got to do this because I can't tell a mature story without some sort of mature element to it. And honestly, man, I felt disgusted with this one, having to talk about it as Ragni, because I had to Google search the experience of a female virgin. And I just was like, nah, this is gross. Not gross as in it's gross, but it's gross that I'm saying it or I'm the one telling it. And I just Googled, just copy and pasted. It's like, it hurt at the start, but it felt quite pleasurable at the end. I was like, I'm leaving it there. It feels wrong being a dude. It feels wrong. It just feels gross. And yeah, so she kind of got those feelings of what she thought, of what she will see in the future, a bit mixed up because she doesn't know this man, and she's feeling great, you know, personal, what's the word I'm looking for? Attachment to him right now. He's a guardian, he's going to keep her safe, and man, chicks love that. You keep them safe, you know, if you make them feel protected, they'll love you for it. And so she's got those feelings a bit confused, and they had a bit of fun, which, you know, like, it's not really good, like, you know, from a male writer, he was my main character, having the main hero bang the main hero, having my hero bang the main hero. It's just like, it's kind of a bit, you know, one-sided, but whatever, I'm writing the story. But it was her first time, so, you know, my character, it sounds really desperate, it sounds really cringy, you know, when I think about it personally. It's like, I'm putting this shit up on YouTube. It just sounds dirty. But she lost her, she became a woman, and this bit is kind of where I wanted to kind of have another dream of hers, where it's kind of intensified in the future, and I've got to find a way to get her to Marillia's beacon or whatever it's called. But this right here, you know, she's in a field on her own in the darkness with a dragon flying over her, and it's a foretelling of her story. And with this, you know, like when I created her, I gave her, like, when I create every character, I give them a dream. What are they going to do in the future? What do they want to do in the future? And she wants to, you know, travel Skyrim. She wants to go to the Bards College and learn how to use the flute, travel from town to town, earn gold, and have a place to sleep for the night by singing in an inn, or, you know, using a musical instrument in an inn, and, you know, place to place until Skyrim freezes over in the winter, and then she goes south to Cyrodiil. That obviously won't happen. Everyone's got dreams. It was like Minerva when I started her questline way back early in the series. She wanted to travel Skyrim, its ruins, Nordic and Dwemer, and then when winter came, go to College of Winterhold, study magic until winter pissed off, and then she'd go to Morrowind. Or she'd travel more of Skyrim and end up going to Morrowind. But that obviously changed, and things kind of went out of control and pushed her in a different direction. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this outro. I know it's a little bit longer than most, and I hope it's a little bit more detailed. For those that are still here, let me know. I hope you've enjoyed it, and, you know, there's always more to come. Anyway, I'm out of here. Look after yourselves.